Solicitors. Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports.
Welcome back to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports, where we've just seen the Nottingham Panthers taking an away victory over fierce rivals, the Sheffield Steelers. But Dave, there's going to be a lot of unhappy faces leaving the House of Steel tonight because the game was pretty much over in that first 10 minutes.
Well, the Sheffield Steelers didn't come out with any kind of momentum, did they? You would think as a home team with 6,500 people in the building, they would be the team taking it to the Panthers. But instead, they took those two early penalties, Anna, and Nottingham capitalised. And boy, did they capitalise with two great power play goals. That finish from Lapine was an outstanding effort. And from that moment onwards, the Nottingham Panthers had control. Sheffield were second best in pretty much all the areas. They were second to loose pucks. They didn't really compete, and that's what made it an Infinity-like performance. His players didn't play as you would expect them to. And the Nottingham Panthers came here, took momentum, competed more than the Sheffield Steelers, thoroughly deserved their victory. At 2-0 it was over.
We've just heard Ryan Finnerty in the interview there, clearly a distraught man.
Unhappy, and he was unhappy in the interview. He was even more unhappy off camera before and afterwards when he was talking to us. And what he can't accept, he can accept not being the best player, he can accept losing a game. What he can't accept is being outcompeted. That's something that's not in the ethos of Ryan Finnerty. And the Sheffield Steelers were outcompeted, and there's a lot of passengers. That was a word he kept using to me when we were walking around to do that interview. We carried too many passengers tonight, and that's what will probably keep him awake all night.
But still, although they lost and Nottingham won, it was a great show tonight. I mean, a brilliant fight.
A great fight, a great show as well. I mean, 6,500 people here. They were all duly entertained to a good game of hockey, and as you say, a great fight. I think Guy Lapine has been the toughest player in our league for the last 18 months. He's been outstanding. He can play, but he can also be that super tough guy. And I haven't seen anybody manhandle Guy Lapine like that before. So, yes, there's a positive for Ryan Finnerty. He's got a very tough guy in Colt King, but he'd sacrifice a fight win for 2 points. He'd much prefer the points.
Now, we've seen over the course of the past sort of 10 or so weeks, Nottingham and Sheffield play up close. Definitely would say that Nottingham are edging forward. Glad
you've been listening, Anna. I've been telling you that for the last... It's sinking in at last. I honestly believe that when they play at their best, when they really come to play, the Nottingham Panthers are the most talented team in the country. Belfast Giants have that lead at the moment, and the Belfast Giants are an outstanding hockey club. So are Sheffield, so are Cardiff, so are Coventry. But I just think if Nottingham can play at full strength and Nottingham are on their game, they have so many game winners. I call them locksmiths, guys that can unpick a lock. You saw Clarkey there score a great goal. This Jordan Fox looks to be an outstanding player. They get great goaltending as well. Now, I think they're the strongest team in the league right now. I thought it the first time I saw them, and I still think it tonight.
So what, over the next few days for Ryan Finnerty, what's going to be going through his head?
He's going to try and find the cat, and then he's going to kick it very hard, I would imagine.
I hope not. We don't harm cats.
He'll be a bear with a sore head. I mean, that's the kind of person, that's the kind of character he is. That's what most of the coaches in the Elite League are like when their team have gone down in the manner that the Sheffield Steelers went down in today. So I would have thought Monday day off and then Tuesday back to work ahead of another tough weekend and a big Challenge Cup game against the Cardiff Devils. But he won't be a happy man to be around.
So what does this mean for the Challenge Cup standings now?
Well, I think it's really all for the second place. The Nottingham Panthers are all but in the semi-finals of the Challenge Cup now. Yes, they can be caught by Sheffield and Cardiff and Coventry, but they won't be caught by them. They'll be in the final four. It's a battle now for the other teams because they all want that second semi-final berth. For the chance to win a trophy, and as we said earlier, to make the money on the semi-final and the final games. But Nottingham, pretty much you can book your semi-final tickets.
One final game to show you tonight. Nottingham and Braehead were in action midweek at the National Ice Centre. Chris Ellis reports.
Braehead went into the game on the back of 3 home league wins in a row, so they're unbeaten in front of their home fans. Nottingham coming in a great run of form. Jay Galbraith there, first goal of the night against his former club, a second of the season. Time of the goal, 2:43. But Nottingham are a very offensive side, and they hit back and they scored before the 9-minute mark. Francis with the assist, Beauregard on the rebound, his 13th goal of the season for David Alexander Beauregard, and we were tied up at 1-1. Power play time late in the first period. Fox has it right-hand side. There's the pass from Beauregard, wearing the 18 shirt on the night, not his normal 9. And David Clark betters Beauregard's tally and scores a 14th of the season. So Nottingham with a 2-1 advantage. Nice move here. Jordan Fox starts it off. There's Clark, and Fox finishes it off as well. The other assist going to Lakovic. Fox with his 6th goal of the season, 24-28. Nottingham continue to come forward, and this is a nice move once more. All sorts of passing in front of the net, tic-tac-toe, and Lakovic with a 9th of the season. Champagne and Myers get the assists, and Nottingham really beginning to run away with things now. All sorts of good plays by them. They're moving the puck around so nicely. Looks like a power play, but it's not. Lee from point with his 3rd goal of the season. Beauregard and Francis scoring the assists. So Nottingham have a significant advantage, but there was still time for more goals in the period. Steal there by Fox, and Nottingham have scored once more. Goal number 6 at 32-45. So really up against it now, the Braehead clan. But they refused to give up, and just as the period came to a close, a power play goal for Campbell at 37-35. Into the 3rd session though, and Nottingham struck first of all. Benedict with a 5th goal of the season. Nice move in front of the net, just neatly beating the netminder there. Danny Myers and Scott Champagne getting the assist. 42-22 time of that goal. Still time for more goals though. Power play time once again for the Braehead clan. They're moving around nicely. 5-on-3 power play time as well. That's a blast from Wedderburn. A 2nd goal of the season for him. 55-04. And there was still time for one more goal on the night. Nottingham break, and the puck comes to David Clark in the slot, set up by Myers and by Marcus Maynard with his 1st point for the club. 11 of Nottingham 15 skaters got points on the night. Big win for the Panthers. They close the gap on the leaders. Braehead 3, Nottingham 8.
Let's recap all the results from this round of the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League. Saturday saw the Braehead clan win 4-2 against Coventry. Belfast scored a big win over the Cardiff Devils, and Edinburgh got their 1st league win of the season away at Fife. There were also wins for Nottingham and Sheffield. On Sunday, Coventry bounced back to beat the Stingrays, while Edinburgh lost at home to Dundee 7-3. Here in Sheffield, it was a tough night for the Steelers as they lost out to the Panthers. And there is confirmation of Nottingham's win away at Braehead on Wednesday night. And here is the league table after all those games. Belfast still sit at the top of the pile with the Panthers and Steelers close behind. Below that, the table is slightly skewed by the fact teams have played a differing number of league games, but Edinburgh have moved off the bottom after their 1st win. Lots of games for you to look forward to. On Saturday, the 22nd of October, Belfast host Coventry, Cardiff take on Dundee, and the Stingrays are at home to Edinburgh. All of those games are league games. In the Challenge Cup, we have Braehead versus Fife, and the reverse of the fixture here in Nottingham as they take on Sheffield at the National Ice Centre. On Sunday, Coventry take on Nottingham, Dundee play Hull, and Edinburgh welcome Fife to the Murrayfield Ice Rink. In the Challenge Cup, it's a big game at Ice Sheffield as the Steelers and Cardiff Devils meet. So Dave, another big game for the Nottingham Panthers next week, the reverse of tonight's fixture, Nottingham v Sheffield. Yeah, and I would imagine a great atmosphere at the NIC. I would think a sold-out building in Nottingham. The Panthers fans will come looking for a similar performance, and I would hope the Sheffield Steelers fans will be looking for a better performance from Ryan Finnerty's team. You know, they had a bad game tonight. You know, in 6 days' time they can put it all right. Another great game, Edinburgh Fife. We said at the top of the year, didn't we, these games are really going to be exciting between the Capitals and the Fife Flyers. They're renewing old rivalries, and the Edinburgh Capitals have really, from a very poor start to the season, have come out of the blocks in the last couple of weeks, and they've beat the Fife Flyers on 2 occasions. So big crowd expected in Murrayfield. I would imagine all the Flyers contingent will cross the bridge and head into Edinburgh. But the Edinburgh Capitals right now have got the Fife Flyers number. Fife have got to start up in the ante a little bit. They need some new blood. They need some new players, and quickly. Well, you can see all of the highlights of those games on next week's show. We're back next Friday, the 28th of October at 6 p.m. on Sky Sports 4, and that show is repeated several times afterwards, including Saturday the 29th at 12 p.m. on Sky Sports 4. Well, that's all we've got time for tonight. All that's left to say from Dave and myself is thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. Good night.
Rapid Solicitors, sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Accident compensation and medical negligence claims.